Can you give us a little update on the chemical weapons briefing and where you stand on it?
We had a chemical weapons briefing. High Representative Nakamitsu briefed us on the latest developments. Everyone was acknowledging that there is a progress in Syria chemical demilitarization, especially now that the last two chemical objects are accessible to inspect. They were not accessible due to the situation in the country, which is emerged in crisis, as you know. We discussed the work of the joint investigation mechanism that should follow up on the fact-finding mission conclusions that, frankly speaking, we were not content with. We do not believe in remote science, which FFM exercised in conducting that investigation, leaving out the most important questions unanswered in that tragic accident. We all confirmed our total unacceptance of chemical weapons used in any part of the world, Syria included, by whoever did it, and we stressed the need for objective investigation to be completed by JIMJIM.
Were you satisfied at all with what you heard?
Sorry?
Were you satisfied at all with what you heard about the way the JIMJIM investigation is going? I mean, Russia had previously been very critical of the JIMJIM findings.
We were critical primarily about the FFM findings, the fact-finding mission, and we insist that JIMJIM would correct the gaps and fill the gaps that the FFM investigation left. I met the JIMJIM head Edmond Muller recently, and I was inspired by his willingness to work towards finding the facts and providing the report that would finally tell us who the culprits were. We welcomed his intention to work with the Damascus government and Syrian government and to visit Damascus, and we encouraged him strongly to visit the sites, without which the results of investigation won't be complete.
Ambassador, about Syria, today Israeli satellites released pictures of a factory of Scott missile, and they claim that it was inside Syria near Latakia, and that is run by Syrian government, and they're basically producing Scott missiles. Has this things came up in the Security Council, and what is your country's position?
I read the story, but you should ask those who provided that story. Ask the Israelis, who asked the Syrians. I have no idea. I have no confirmation or no news except for the article that was.
And about ISIS accountability today, Iraqi Foreign Minister. ISIS accountability today, Iraqi Foreign Minister sent a letter to Secretary General asking for international community's help and to collect evidence of ISIS crimes in Iraq. There should be a vote about this, a resolution. Can you tell me your country's position about it?
A vote on that resolution?
Yeah.
The resolution is just being drafted
yes.
by Iraq and the United Kingdom.
Yes. Asking the United Nations to help investigate ISIS crimes in Iraq?
In Iraq.
Well, what do you think we will say to that? Of course we'll support it, but we'll have to see the resolution.
About a question on Venezuela. Russia and others have said that the Security Council is not a place for discussing Venezuela. It's an internal issue. Following Donald Trump's remarks on Friday, sort of threatening a possible military intervention, do you think this is an issue that should be discussed within the Council?
I don't think so. I think many countries, including ours, said commented on the admissibility of any military solution in Venezuela and stressed the need for a dialogue which is, in our view, slowly evolving in the country. So we don't think it's anything close to discussing here.
And Ambassador, another follow-up on DPRK. The joint military exercises start on Monday between the US and South Korea, another potential flashpoint in this crisis. What is Russia saying to North Korea to try and get them not to react?
We are saying to both sides that they should refrain from anything that would deteriorate the situation. We've heard and seen some conciliatory language recently in the last couple of days, and that's a good sign that it is cooling down. We are stressing that there is a need for political way out of it. You possibly have witnessed the SG's comment on the situation today during the press briefing, which we very much welcome. He also stressed the need for a political and diplomatic solution. We need a political roadmap. For the time being, on the table, there is only one. This is our joint Russian-Chinese statement of the 4th of July, proposing the dual suspension and the roadmap on the peace and security architecture in Northeast Asia. That's it. On the suspension, it was our Foreign Minister Lavrov who commented on the legality of two things. It's not time to discuss the legality. It's time to demonstrate that parties are willing to move. And in my humble view, even the reduction in the tension in the scale of the exercise, if they are not cancelled at all, would help reduce those tensions. Am I done?
One question on the Iran nuclear deal.
Sorry?
On the Iran nuclear deal, we've heard some escalating rhetoric on that front from both the US and Iran. What's Russia doing to try and convince both parties to stay in the deal?
There was a comment by our foreign minister again today that the deal was a very, very, very delicate balance, which is very difficult, very easy to break, which we wouldn't like to see. So we would like the JCPOA remain. That's one of the examples that the international community can take as an asset in recent times, and it's a delicate and very balanced text and balanced agreement, which is not difficult to break. So we have to stick to it and not to make moves that would push one party or the other to think about leaving it.
Did you discuss at today's meeting the allegations of Syrian government about possible deliveries to chemical companies?
No, we didn't. I read the news recently, but we didn't discuss it.
Do you believe that it's incumbent on?
Yes, it is, of course, but we have to see the confirmation, of course.
Confirmation by the JIM
or by that there was news. That was the news. But we just read it. We didn't discuss it. We didn't comment on it, and possibly that is in the mandate of JIM too.